Welcome to How to Find More Direct Clients Than You Can Poke a Stick At podcast, a mix of both solo episodes and expert interviews. Our ideal listener is an early career, ambitious, and passionate online language services provider. She is committed to professional growth and achieving success in the fiercely competitive translation and interpreting industry. She balances multiple responsibilities with resourcefulness, values mentorship, is open to learning, and investing in her professional development journey. She embraces technology and seeks to optimize workflow, eager to connect with like-minded peers and build out her professional network. She is determined to overcome challenges and become a sought-after freelance translator. And here's your host, medical translator and translator business mentor, Jason Willis-Lee.
Marie-Helène was born and grew up in the UK. After 10 years in the British chemical industry, she moved to Rome in 1999, where after a few years teaching English as a second language, she switched careers to become a freelance medical translator. 25 years later, she launched HelpmateRome, a service to help non-Italian speakers navigate the tempestuous Roman housing market. Marie-Helène is a holder of the CIOL DipTrans, a member of the Institute of Translation and Interpreting, and a member of the Royal Society of Chemistry. She has 2 cats and 1 husband. And welcome to How to Find More Direct Clients, another podcast episode hosted by myself, Jason Willis-Lee. This is the show that makes digital marketing easier and much more fun using the perfect combination and just the right dose of business strategy and tech. I'm your host, Jason Willis-Lee, digital marketing specialist. And today I'm so thrilled to welcome a How to Find Direct Client student, Marie-Helene Hayles. Experienced in both local, that's Roman, real estate consultancy and translation, Marie-Helene brings a very unique perspective to our discussion today. Marie-Helene, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for accepting the invite. First of all, just to break the ice, can you tell me a bit about your personal journey in local, that's Roman real estate consultancy? You live in Rome, you work in Rome, and translation, and a bit about your unique vision for the future of our translation industry and local real estate as well.
Well, that's a whole lot to go in one lump, but I'm originally, I started out life as an industrial chemist, and I spent 10 years in the industrial chemistry industry in the UK. And then I moved to Rome in 1999, as so many people do. I started out teaching English as a second language.
Yep.
And one of my first groups of clients was a bunch of medical researchers, and they started asking me to revise their articles for them for publication. And then as my Italian improved, they asked me to translate directly. And I soon realized I much preferred translating to teaching. And so after a few years, I just stopped teaching altogether and launched myself as a medical translator, a freelance medical translator. And I was very happy doing that for quite a long time. And I had a very successful business. But gradually, all the things that we all know about, the MTPE, artificial intelligence, pressure on rates and so on, started affecting my business too. And so I started looking around for something else that I could do to supplement my income. And coincidentally, a German friend of mine asked if I could help her find somewhere to live in Rome, because she doesn't speak Italian and she was having trouble communicating with the real estate agencies. So I thought, yeah, okay, I'll give it a go. And I found out that I actually really enjoyed doing it and that nobody actually seemed already to be doing it. So there was a little gap there in the market.
Yep.
I mean, to clarify, I'm not a property finder. What I do is kind of basically a proactive translation and interpreting service. So I can call the agencies to make an inquiry about an apartment and to book a viewing. If the client likes, then I can go and view the apartment for them or with them. I can help them prepare their paperwork to put in an offer. I can help them with, once they've moved in, I can help them with anything they need to do afterwards. And just basically anything where language proves a barrier, I can help them with.
Okay, that's fantastic that you found a way of supplementing your income and setting up a side hustle. What about the strategies? How do you find clients exactly? What's your funnel strategy? You mentioned an off chance friend asked you to. Are you doing word of mouth marketing, or do you have a website and a sales page set up? How do you go about attracting and finding clients?
A bit of everything. I mean, I started out with word of mouth. There are quite a lot of international English language organizations in Rome, both business oriented and social. And I started out by going to these different events just to spread the word. And while I was doing that, I also set up a website. I got some flyers printed. I've sent someone out with my flyers to put them up around strategic areas near the universities and near hostels, budget hostels and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I've advertised through one of the main expat organizations here in Rome. So it's a bit of everything, really. Anywhere that there is an international community here in Rome, I am trying to target it.
So there are two international organizations I can think of offhand: the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, and the World Food Program. And I mean, would those be good sources of clients for you? Are there lots of international people milling around, presumably looking for accommodation solutions?
Yeah, they're the most difficult ones to get into. I mean, there are actually some other international organizations as well. I mean, the European Commission has a branch here.
Yep.
There's also the Italian Space Agency has quite a lot of international employees.
Yeah.
But it's actually quite difficult to get into them. I've tried. The best I've managed so far is actually having somebody I know literally carry my flyers into them. I've not managed to get into them electronically yet, unfortunately. So that is definitely a future objective.
Something to work on. Well, I can see your website behind you. It's HelpmateRome.com. So if you're listening to this and you are relocating to Rome for a temporary or perhaps a permanent stay, do check out Marie-Helene's offer, HelpmateRome.com. We'll get a link to that in the show notes, obviously. So about these bespoke solutions, how exactly do you provide these solutions? Your offer is basically helping with finding the digs. You arrange the utility contracts, arranging gas and electricity. You find a local doctor, GP, family doctor for your clients. Is that essentially the offer? You're saving people time and money doing those things for them?
Yeah, I think it's important to stress I am not a property finder. Mm-hmm. Rome is that the housing market here is incredibly competitive and fast moving. I don't have a portfolio of properties, so I do not promise my clients that I can find them an apartment. What I promise them is that I can help them look for an apartment. As I said before, I offer a range of services both before they find somewhere and afterwards. So if they need help registering with a doctor, or maybe they're already here and they've got a doctor but they don't really know how to talk to the doctor, I can do that for them.
Yeah.
I can help them switch over their utilities from the previous tenant or owner. Hopefully it's much easier to do that than actually start up a new contract. So hopefully that will not be an issue. So yeah, if they need to open a bank account, I can help them with that. So basically anything where they need somebody who's fluent in Italian and also who is familiar with the processes here in Rome.
Do you help clients purely with rentals, or can you also help them purchase a property and hold their hand in that process?
Okay, obviously, if they're purchasing, they absolutely need to have a lawyer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can certainly help them with the language aspects of it.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, the same thing, booking appointments, going to viewings, all that kind of thing I can do anyway, but they will obviously need a lawyer if they're looking to buy somewhere.
Right. Okay. It sounds like you're saving clients a lot of time, which is fantastic. So, yeah, people are willing to pay for a service that saves them either time or money or both.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, different clients of mine have wanted different things. One of them, she just wanted me to book the appointments for her because she didn't have time to liaise with the agencies herself.
Yeah.
Somebody else literally just wanted me to look through the rental contract for her just to make sure that it looked standard, that there wasn't any strange clause in there.
Mm.
Another one, a current client, is in the States, and so I am booking the viewings and I am going to the viewings and doing a video for her so she can see the apartment through my eyes, as it were. And obviously, I tell her if there's anything that, well, that doesn't look quite right, So,
So most of
yeah,
your
it's a
clients are
bespoke
contacting
service.
you from abroad, outside Rome, or are there local contacts in Italy who get in touch with you once they're sort of on
So
site?
far, it's mainly been abroad.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
who are abroad. I've had contacts from the States, from Ukraine, from Canada,
Mm.
a Hungarian couple I'm currently in touch with. So yeah, it's all over.
Right. Okay. What about overcoming challenges? Could you outline briefly the challenges you faced in the Rome local real estate market? You mentioned the competition insanely, so as soon as a viewing comes out, everyone pounces on it, or a
Yeah.
listing. How have you successfully overcome these challenges? Tell us a bit about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, the main thing is you really have to move quickly. And so if clients want me to, I can actually set up a profile with the main real estate websites so that I put in the client's requirements, and as soon as a suitable apartment comes up, I get pinged and I can just call instantly about it. Because the problem is that you wait half a day and all the viewing slots might already have filled up, because as soon as they've got 20, 30 people interested in going to see the apartment, they generally take it off the website because they just get too much demand. So yeah, you need to react really quickly.
Okay, great. What about inspiration for aspiring professionals? If there are people listening, trying to get into this niche, what's what is your what are your top tips for people to sort of niche down and dominate? Something I talk about a lot is niching down. Some people do this already, but you can niche down further and deeper. How do you plan to grow your own client base?
Well, something that a lot of people talk about is how consistency is much more important than motivation when it comes to marketing, which is absolutely true. But obviously, if you're enthusiastic about what you're doing, it's much easier to be consistent. But having said that, obviously, there are days where you just don't want to do anything. So what I suggest that people do is get an accountability buddy. This is something that I've done recently, actually with the friend who I helped first of all. She is also a freelancer in a different field. And every couple of weeks, we meet through Zoom, and we talk about what's been going well, what's not been going well, what our goals are for the next 2 weeks, and just generally give each other insights into into our each other's businesses, because obviously having a different perspective is invaluable. So yeah, I'd say get an accountability buddy, because as the name suggests, it keeps you accountable even when you don't actually want to do something.
Yeah.
You have to, because somebody's checking up on you.
Yeah, I absolutely second that. I have an accountability buddy. It's Damien Schroers. He's on a previous podcast episode. If you go back in the flick back of your episodes of Macpreneur, he has a Macpreneur, a Mac-based business, and we're actually meeting this afternoon, the day we're recording this. So that's we meet twice monthly, as Marie-Helène suggested. That cadence is very, very good. Absolutely recommend accountability buddies, and I know some of you probably do revision groups, which is also a form of accountability, having someone check over your work and and keeping you accountable. Okay, let's move into the final five. The final five, we asked these questions to all our guests. So let's see if you can give me some spur on the spot answers. Productivity. What's one feel-good productivity tool or tip you absolutely can't live without? You'd be lost without this tool. Can you give me a tip or
Okay,
a
so I
tool?
actually feel like a bit of a Luddite here because I'm probably the last person in the world to have gone over to having an online diary. But I recently did because otherwise I would have had to carry my paper diary everywhere. And also, of course, people need to be able to book me online. So it was essential to have an online diary. And I honestly wish I'd done it years ago because it is just so much easier than having to try to remember to put things in my desk diary when I get home. So yes, that's it. An online diary. You heard it here first.
I think one of my guests actually answered a paper diary, a paper diary, which is the answer. But that's great. I use Google Calendar, and everything is in the Google Calendar, so that's very useful. Yeah, great answer. What's the biggest myth people believe when it comes to the Roman real estate market? When it comes to what you do as your side hustle, what's the biggest myth people believe that you have to bust all the time?
That I can find them an apartment in the center of Rome for 500 euros a month. It's not going to happen. I can't even find you a room for 500 euros a month.
What's the minimum people should be budgeting for a one-bedroom apartment? Give them an idea, make them
It depends on the area, but I mean, in the center of Rome, then somewhere between 1,200 to 1,500 a month would be realistic.
Yeah, 12
possibly even more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you heard it there first, guys. You're not going to find it for 500 a month. You need to, presumably you'd have to move fairly, out into the sticks to get that kind of price.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Into the outskirts, yeah. What's the best business advice you've ever received, or perhaps you've given?
Get an accountability buddy.
The one you mentioned before. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, accountability is important. Using just one word, how would you describe AI, artificial intelligence? How would you describe AI?
Misconceived.
Misconceived. Okay, that's a good one. What's the best business investment you've ever made? What's the best investment you've ever made?
Okay, so nobody's actually going to believe you didn't pay me to say this, but honestly, I think it's your course. It's for me, especially the one-to-one mentoring sessions have been absolutely invaluable right from the start. I mean, your enthusiasm and belief in an idea that I brought to you, thinking, well, I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe I should do this, and you're going, wow, that sounds great. Just go for it. And then just helping me step by step get to where I am now with the practical advice you've offered. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I couldn't have done it without you, but it would certainly have been a lot more difficult. So yes.
That's very kind. Thank you.
You're the best investment I made.
That's very kind. Thank you very much. Yeah, I should probably say publicly, Marie-Hélène was easily the most entrepreneurial of my clients. She brought a non-translation business to the table, and everyone else. I've had about 10 people go through the course to date. Hopefully, a few more will join. And it was just a pleasure working with you on your business. We were doing things like sales page, pricing system, top of funnel, working out how the clients are coming in, your connectors, working out where to put the euros and the time. So yeah, many congrats on on diversifying, which is a chapter of my book, actually, the book that you can see on the background, How to Find More Direct Clients. I talk about diversifying, and you've done that very, very well. So you're really walking the talk that I talk about. That's fantastic. Thank you. So closing thoughts. Any final thoughts or takeaways for our audience that you'd like to share? How would you communicate that? Any final takeaway or?
Well, I think what you just said, diversification, I think it is absolutely essential for translators in this era, the era of AI, to diversify. You need to find an idea that you like, that you can believe in, and work towards achieving that idea, that goal.
Yeah, diversifying income streams. The market is challenging. No one's saying it isn't. There is a lot of competition. AI is misconceived and I would say over talked about, as Carlos Laudin Tovar said on last week's episode. So diversifying, if you can think of additional income streams, is the way to work. Where can listeners connect with you or learn more about your work and expertise? What's the best platform, the best way to connect with you?
Well, to find out more about what I do and what I'm offering, then have a look at my website, HelpmateRome.com. You can also find me on Facebook or Instagram, under HelpmateRome.
Okay, Facebook, Instagram, HelpmateRome, and the website is HelpmateRome.com. All right, let's wrap it up for today's episode of How to Find More Direct Clients. Stay tuned for more interactive discussions on the ever-evolving landscape of language and digital marketing. Until next time, stay on your game and do remember to future-proof your career in the AI digital era. From myself and my guest, Marie-Helène, bye for now.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Here's a fun fact about Jason. Jason loves reading John Grisham thrillers in his spare time. Thanks for tuning in to the How to Find More Direct Clients Than You Can Poke a Stick At podcast. We'll be back soon. In the meantime, why not head over to www.entrepreneurialtranslator.com to access all our tools and resources to monetize and future-proof your freelance translation business. And don't forget to hit the plus button in Apple Podcasts or iTunes, or subscribe in Spotify to be notified when new episodes drop. For regular tips and insights, business strategy, or marketing techniques straight to your inbox, please sign up at www.entrepreneurialtranslator.com.